Hello and welcome to the Dead Air Dudes. I'm Izzy.
I'm Bolt. I am one of the mascots for the Thunderbolts. Latest movie installment we're about to review coming up your way. Yay, Marvel!
Yes, the Thunderbolts. Asterisk. There's going to be very little, if any, spoilers here. So movie's only been out not even 2 weeks, so I don't want to really,
Don't worry, everything's on the internet.
yeah, which is kind of upsetting. If you guys haven't known, by the time you see this video or hear this podcast episode, you will know why the Thunderbolts have an asterisk and what they're,
I
what.
don't think it's a spoiler. You could tell them.
Well, I mean, it leads directly into one of the post-credit scenes. So yeah, I mean, the new Avengers. So yeah. Now, are they going to change the name to both the new Avengers? But doesn't really matter. But yeah, Raka, give us a quick happy recap of who the Thunderbolts are and what is their deal.
Well, the plot, I would say, is pretty simple.
Hmm.
Um, Jeff Fontaine, I can't even go through her own name.
Allegra,
Um,
Allegra Defontaine, something. Yeah.
there's like five names to it. So she basically has a cleanup operation.
Hmm.
She's being investigated. She's being impeached. Um, and so she set up all these people who work under her to get to one facility. Meanwhile, it's a trap.
Yeah.
And all the traps are tailor made to each of their strengths. And so she's basically eliminating her human files in uh, Yelena, US agent,
Hmm.
Taskmaster,
Yes.
Ghost,
Yep.
and not for what least is that it? Well, yes, yes. Now, what they didn't know is that lurking in this death trap
Bob.
was Bob. I thought it was hysterical that it's just Bob. And unfortunately, I can't help in the first minutes but think how would Stephen Young fare
I think he
as
would have fared. I mean, all right. This guy did well. So I mean, Pullman did
yeah,
did
I can
which, by the way, I mean, if you didn't know, it's kind of obvious. He's the son of Bill Pullman. But
so Bob is there and it's comical, which I enjoy because they try to team up to get out of that place.
yep.
And Bob just gets in the way because he's less like a regular person. But you could tell all their flaws and their issues, which is why they're like the losers. And they can't get along. They do poor teamwork. They snap at each other. It is the anti-Avengers.
Yes.
And in trying to escape, it gets revealed that Bob was part of Project Sentry.
Yes.
Project Sentry, and I'm sure Izzy will fill you in more, loosely was trying to develop a 100, 1,000 time more powerful super soldier serum.
Yeah. He's
Every test subject died,
yes.
except for Bob.
We all know that in the MCU, there's not so many accidents as it seems that everything, most of all the heroes, villains, or a lot of them, they are basically come out of the super soldier serum some in one way or another, affected, from Hulk to Captain America, Bucky,
Big tree.
a good portion of the Thunderbolts, and yeah, I mean Red Guardian, the leader, Abomination, go on and on and on and on and on. Red Hulk, anyway. So, but the Sentry is, just to put it simply, kind of loosely maybe a version of maybe Superman, but with telekinetic powers. And his weakness is, well, he's supposed to have the power of 1,000 suns. Okay.
But there's a big catch.
he's Bob, and the Void, which would be his kind of his.
The Void is the biggest catch of all. He can't really engage his super powers without engaging or releasing the Void.
Yeah,
Now, can we ask you now, being our resident expert in all things Marvel and DC, as far as comic book canon goes, is this correct? Can he keep it on lock? Or the Void doesn't seem to kill people, but he seems to show them these darker sides of themselves. The what do they call them? The shame rooms. Um, it's a little bipolarish.
yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing. The Void, it's a little different in the comics because the Sentry is so overpowered. He's so powerful. Like in World War Hulk, the only one who could even do anything to Hulk at that time was Sentry. You know.
He dispatched in comic book lore. He dispatched Galactus.
Yeah, I mean, and Sentry actually freaking he killed Ares. He tore him in
Ripped
half.
him in half. Yeah, I mean,
So
um,
I mean, so yeah, Sentry is big and powerful, but we all know the MCU, for the most part, they've been kind of changing in the last several movies that everyone has a lower power set, except now they've been blown up, of course, with Scarlet Witch, Kang, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You
well,
know,
don't forget in the last terrible series,
I mean, Marvel.
they supercharged what's her name into all the different powers of different superheroes, their DNAs into
Yeah, the
DNA
super
from
cool.
Hulk.
I'm gonna mention her name. Yeah, exactly. So,
But there's a huge problem you're laying down when you're getting these super juiced up characters. Where like, okay, you're basically building these super godlike entities. What chance does a regular Joe Schmo mutant or
well, that's why you have the void that keeps him in check, and he's still Bob. So, in that sense, you kind of also, I get it. You kind of put a nice little,
fail safe
exactly
balance?
a fail safe for the character, and so Allegra, she uses the Sentry to fight off the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts, with the help of Bucky. Bucky, who's a congressman. When the hell did that happen? Man, did I miss that or something? I mean,
But he's also grouped into the loser bracket because he's a
he
congressman who hasn't got anything
he
passed.
he's leader of these loser Thunderbolts, as well as Red Guardian pops out of nowhere,
No,
and
Red Guardian I love. Now
great.
he comes with the limo. He still thinks he was chasing glory. And meanwhile, he's a limo driver, and his comic relief was necessary and awesome. Not to mention, he had some touching moments with Yelena about life, childhood, and stuff. I think he added a good dimension here.
Now,
Um,
I'm gonna say something, and
oh,
I may stand on this all by myself. I think that Yelena is better character than Natasha.
yes, she's more complex.
Yeah, and I think I like Yelena better than Natasha.
Yeah, because I
As
think
a character and
Yelena.
an actress, and I mean,
Well, I'm not even gonna get into that, but Yelena shows the ability to be 100% in touch with what she's feeling. She
yeah.
just and she can leave in a dime. Like Natasha's character was so conflicted. Like she basically changed teams, but she was still a triple spy. And even though she had red on her ledger, she continued to do the same work. Was Yelena probably, if things didn't go this way, might have joined her dad as a little driver and just
Well, I mean,
quit. She was ready to quit
yeah,
the whole
she
thing.
did mention that she would that basically she did her job and then she would get drunk and then kind of on to the next job, and she was utterly miserable, and she
But she
wouldn't.
kept it real.
Yes, she did.
Unlike Black Widow, again, that's her character. where she still plays the same spy role, but just for the U.S. team or
Yeah.
another team. Meanwhile, she did dirt to everybody.
Right. So I mean, that was cool. I mean, the fight scenes are pretty good. It was funny. The acting was pretty good, and it gave you back. It gave you that blockbuster feeling that we've been missing from the MCU movies. And it
It
also,
had a more,
yeah,
yeah, no, it had a more lighthearted um jilt to it, like a more of a Guardians and Ragnarok type of slant.
it had, yes, it had a Guardians type feel. It had without the, obviously the space stuff, but it had a Guardians type feel, and I really enjoyed that. And I think that making them the new Avengers, spoilers, actually works. Now, I'm not
Brilliant.
spoil more because I don't want to give away, but they actually made a character which I really didn't really give a shit about in Ghost, and I was like, Ghost is pretty badass, Ghost.
It was brilliant, like you said, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's why there's such a pairing of these two, because in Guardians, when they got into the prison and all that stuff, everyone was at rock bottom,
Yeah.
supercharged or not. And they all revealed a commonality. They all kind of they grew to lean on each other because they were outcasts, but they were on this mission bigger than themselves, which was the Guardians at that point was to stop Sentry. And they talked briefly. This is what I love. Not like the other shows where you go
No,
like
you
10
mean
minutes into
Guardians
each backstory.
will stop Ronin Guardians so
Yeah. But I mean here where they
country.
just said one or two lines and it's succinct. It wrapped it up. They didn't have to go 10 minutes deep into each one about, oh, I was abused as a child. I have to wear this suit or else I disintegrate. My wife and kid left me. And he didn't have to say it. Somebody else, Bucky said it. He was phenomenal. And Bucky, forget it. He's got, what he did. So I I appreciated it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed where they went with this. And as a whole, I I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and the unthinkable and made a U.S. agent who was a complete douche nozzle
Oh,
in the show made him actually pretty freaking likable in this one. You're like,
because you saw the worst of them, but they still stood together as a team against the greater good, for the greater good. It worked. And you turned a total cluster into a workable, enjoyable flick. And you put in play the ground because they did it very subtly towards the end, where it didn't have a good meeting with the new Captain America. Things are not. You saw at the end credits, so it wasn't really an end credit scene, but as the credits were rolling, you saw flashes of newsreels. Mixed bag. These are new Avengers. Who are they? They're garbage. They're idiots. These are the ones saving our lives. And then yes, it is true. They're a bunch of misfits, outcasts, and these are supposed to replace Thor, Captain America, Hulk. Down the line, and you scratch your head like, oh God, this is what we're in for. It is the first gateway into what is it, SpaceX?
you know what? I'm not even gonna try. I don't
All
even.
right, the next phase. Because, and I'm gonna be brutally honest, the last Captain America movie didn't do squat.
It was. There's a couple of things I liked about it. I mean, the introduction to
But it
Adam
was, in the whole timeline of the MCU, it's very unforgettable.
and the Red Hulk.
I mean, forgettable.
I was never a fan of the Red Hulk, to be honest. I mean,
But even the whole storyline, the Red Hulk, where did he go? So President Red Hulk, everything's in disaster. He's gone. Nobody's buying Captain America for many reasons. He's 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 there, but he's not really there. You have the leader. Okay, grotesque, brilliant, evil genius. Where's he going with that? It all could have been a footnote in this movie.
yeah. I think that movie, and I hate to say it, well, not to go on a tangent, but that's Captain America film was just a vehicle to introduce the Red Hulk and bring Harrison Ford into the fold, into the Marvel unit, into the MCU.
Which again could have been accomplished in like a screen footnote of 3 minutes in this movie,
You know,
because it was kind of a waste of time and energy and resources. Spend all that and for him to also have 10 minutes at the end of the movie. We're not going there. We're going here with the Thunderbolts, and not
Mm,
to be big spoilers, but it's everywhere about where the end credit scenes do lead into.
well, yeah, the end credit scene. Do we spoil it?
I
No.
think we spoil it. No,
What do you want to spoil it?
I want to spoil it because it's already out there. It's one of those things where people may not spoil the movie, but they'll spoil the end credit scenes the first 3 days of release because that's what everybody lives for.
All right, go ahead.
No, all right. The the big spoiler for something. They're all together. This is like a year plus.
It's a spoiler, but it's not really a spoiler because you knew this was coming
Yeah,
anyway.
it's not really a spoiler. So you knew that this is a year plus into it. They're kind of haggling with each other about what they are, what their reputation is, and where they're going, and each other's whatever. And the conversation gets broken up because there's this news flash. Something's entering the upper atmosphere. Something from some intergalactic dimensional portals. Blah 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 blah. And of course, they are because the ship shows the four, and they're coming. And like you had mentioned, no spoilers really. This is a bridge to the Fantastic Four movie. What, in a month and a half?
Pretty much. They're what? I think July 26th.
Yeah. All right, 2 months. Yeah, 2 months now. We're And of course, it's supposed to be the big bad of the year.
Well,
Really supposed to.
I mean, more bigger than Superman. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, I think Superman's gonna.
Oh no, no, you're right. But I'm saying for the MCU,
Yes, for the MCU. Yes, I mean,
the big summer blockbuster. All right. So, and that's a good conversation we could have later once the two movies do come out. But from all intents and purposes and all the hoopla, the Fantastic Four it's no secret these Thunderbolts are in there, or
yeah,
they're into the next phase. And they already put into the groundworks that Captain America it was tasked to build his Avengers. Not these Avengers, his Avengers. So there's going to be his Avengers, this group of Thunderbolts, asterisk, new Avengers. It's been already disseminated about the X-Men.
yeah,
And of course, you have Doom already said to be either at the end of this movie, definitely his own movie, and Fantastic Four. So it's kind of like the cat is already out of the bag. Might as well let the cat roam around a bit and you see more of the cat.
yes. I mean, the cat is. I don't know.
Dude, he's completely out of the bag with the freaking all the director's chair seats
Well,
revealed.
and to be honest, I think that was just the beginning.
Yes, they said that's not the complete list.
Yeah, because obviously the Thunderbolts weren't there.
Yes.
I'm,
And
I'm sorry, I apologize. The New Avengers were not there.
see, New Avengers will have to be in the Fantastic Four movie because they were watching it on screen as it's unplanned. You know, you have the Silver Surfer clips going all over the internet now about, you know, yeah, Earth has been marked for death, and no, you just want to see it happen. You know what's happening.
All right,
So they gave, they gave you a little reminder. That was it.
yeah. Bottom line, what's your rating? And is Marvel back? Well, the MCU back with this?
They're on their way back. I can't officially stamp they're back. They're on their way back. I give it personally like a 7.2, 7.5, between that, 7.2. In the fact that I enjoyed it. Can I see through some of the plot holes and some of the beginning was a little long, but it moved well afterwards, and I thoroughly liked where they were going with it. I enjoyed the flick, so I have to give it over a 7 rating.
Yeah.
You?
7.75. 7.5.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the movie. It was funny. It was good. It harkened back to the yesteryear of the MCU, and I think that it points it back in the right direction. I think it kind of righted the ship. Oh, and I'm not gonna get into the whole minutia, the whole all the BS of the MCU being woke and all that. I hate all that stuff. I'm not. I don't believe in it.
No, I don't believe it either. You know what? I sit back and I go, was I entertained?
Yes, but I do think that some of the movies have been faltered. I think there's been superhero fatigue, and I think that they kind of went a little too much with the phases, and I think they kind of did a little too much. So now them pulling back and probably focusing on this was actually a pretty good idea. So
It was. I mean, for me, you know what bridges the gap from superhero fatigue and superhero interest is that if you make the characters even supercharged, relatable.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, I thought, and I didn't think so, but it gave me the same feeling as Guardians of the Galaxy. You took
But no, they were relatable because
about
okay,
relatable. Yes, you made them interesting.
Yelena, yeah, Yelena was without, and she has no superpowers, but because of her traumatic, manipulated backstory, everybody could relate to. I'm losing purpose. I don't want to do this anymore. And you know, Red Guardian. But Bucky, who's gone through so many ups and downs and guilt and all this stuff, he he sides with these guys over the government, over his job, over his senator seat or whatever he is, and Ghost and all this, who's like she's just trying to find a way to exist in this life. But when they all find each other, we all related to that, just like the Guardians. They lifted a whole lot straight from Guardians of the Galaxy, which I applaud.
I want to see how they continue this whole Bob slash Sentry slash Void situation because Bob is Bob could be a problem.
Bob could be a problem, but right now Bob is like faxing stuff or making coffee. That's all that Bob does.
I think the Sentry's kind of on the shelf for a bit. So yeah, so that's a review. Slight spoilers for Thunderbolts asterisk slash New Avengers, and let us know what you guys think, and if you enjoyed it, and especially if you think the MCU is back or is back on track, and what are you looking forward to more? Fantastic Four first steps or Superman? Let us know. Please like, comment, subscribe.
I'm Raka, and remember, I am the whale saver, but I'm also now a big fan of the Thunderbolts, both the soccer team and the new event.
I'm Izzy, and I enjoy the soccer team. Take care, everybody.